What does this remind you of? Cartoons. What does this remind you of? Cartoons. What does this remind you of? Cartoons. You are obsessed with cartoons! Hey, you're the one showing me all the animation cells. So, you guys watch anime? Because I don't.
Let's start a riot.
What? No, please! Hear me out! Hear me out! Ah! I do not like anime. I don't hate it in any way. I'm just not interested in it. It just doesn't appeal to me. However, I've been getting hate comments telling me that I'm a waste of oxygen for not watching anime. I'd show the actual comments, but I deleted them a long time ago. So whether you believe me or not is all up to you.
You liar!
But I still get nasty comments complaining at me for being who I am. Nowadays, the hate has been dying down, but I fear that this video will add fuel to the fire. This doesn't happen often, but once in a blue moon when I would post a new video, there will always be that one guy that will constantly say, "Where's the anime?" Or, "Why are you childish?" Or, "Is this a JoJo reference?" First of all, what made you think that these videos were related to anime? Second, how could you tell me that I'm childish when there are adult fan bases for Nintendo games and cartoon series? And most importantly, who the flying is JoJo? See what I mean? Okay, look, I'm a Nintendo YouTuber. I've been pushing for Nintendo content on my channel since 2019. I did this because I love Nintendo, and I've been a huge fan of Nintendo since the GameCube era. I could talk about why Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door is the best game on the GameCube, or why Super Mario Odyssey is my favorite game of all time, and I mentioned this in my Peppa Pig Rant video, but I'm still a huge fan of kids' cartoons like SpongeBob SquarePants and Phineas and Ferb. I want to reach out to other people by talking about Nintendo and cartoons, but no. Nobody comes to this channel for any of those. They come for anime content. So you're telling me that a channel with an inkling profile picture is the perfect place for you to watch anime? Even though the inkling is from a game on the Wii U and got a sequel on the Switch and a third game on the same console?
What's wrong with you?
And don't misconstrue what I'm saying here. I don't hate anyone that's into anime. I'm not one of those, if your profile picture is from an anime, your opinion doesn't count kind of guys. There are some people on my channel that enjoy my content and just so happen to watch anime, and I can respect that, like whatever you like. It's just that from time to time, I get a hate comment from a stupid, toxic weeaboo that can't understand the concept of an opinion. To give you an example, I used to do the series called Matt the Cat Workshop, a series where I make a save on Gary's mod via viewer request. It's like one of those art request videos, if you know what I mean. And while it was a successful series with some people suggesting that I should make more Nintendo saves, there were some other people that were pushing for more anime saves. Characters that I'm not familiar with because they are from a genre that I'm not interested in, and most of the ragdolls are pure hot garbage because they are stiff to control and don't have face or finger pose. How am I supposed to work with this if I can't make it express? So in my last MTC Workshop video, I announced that I'm not making saves about anime characters, and reception to that was... Oh, right. YouTube removed the dislike counter. Piece of shit, Susan. I got 1 dislike. Now, 1 dislike doesn't sound bad at first, but I also noticed that I stopped getting requests from the video upon its release, and after that, nobody came back for more. This alone was proof enough that nobody cared about what I was interested in. This series has been cancelled, all because a fanbase turned it into something I didn't want it to be, and left after I took some control. Not a single request for a save has ever appeared in the comments. Maybe a hate comment once in a blue moon, but no sign of a request. All because I was not interested in a genre. Thanks a lot, guys. You ruined my passion project. But hey, BlazeBro Gaming has his own workshop series called BlazeBro's Mine-A-Mainer Workshop. Maybe if you go check out his series, then surely he'll make an anime scene for you. Oh, wait a minute. You don't want him to make it for you. You want me to make it. Is that how it is? Do you really not care? You know what? You're a bad person. You're a hypocrite. All you ever care about is me getting into... Okay, I guess I should explain why I'm not interested into anime. Some people told me that I can't just ignore a genre just because a community is mad at me. And while that is a good excuse for me to give anime a chance, the truth is, well, I really don't know why I hate it. Something about the art style and designs from these characters, from Dragon Ball, Naruto, JoJo, even My Hero Academy, they all look bad in my eyes. The swole muscles, the spiky hair, the similar eye placements, and the way they over-exaggerate their expressions through their faces. It looks like cringe. Look at this face. You're meaning to tell me that people love to watch it? This is the face of nightmares, or the next Five Nights at Freddy's jump scare. And what about the titles? I am just stunned how each of these shows have terrible names. My Hero Academy? More like Not My Hero Academy. Who would name their school that? Dragon Ball? I'll kick you in the Dragon Balls if you tell me to watch it for the over 9,000th time. One Piece? If you even think about me dropping out of college just so I can waste so many years watching this, I will tear you into 1,000,000 pieces. And now we get to the thing that I've been dreading. The hentai. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not going out my way to find Google images of that stuff. But there are freaks all over the internet who are very obsessed with that stuff. And I mean very obsessed. Literally, give a guy something that has an anime chick plastered on it, and they'll Splatoon all over it. Oh, okay, that's too much. And you want to know the irony? I got a hate comment telling me that my life sucks just because I don't ink to hentai. My life is meaningless. All because I don't go crazy over hentai. Go back to your parents' basement and stay in your place! Ugh. The things I have to deal with when I try to theme my channel off of Nintendo. How lazy can you all get? Okay, I'm gonna do something that may surprise you. I'll review 4 animes that I have watched. And no, it's not any of these. The following animes that I'll be reviewing are my taste. You'll be surprised and pissed. To see what I have in store, I'll go through each one and talk about what I like about them, point out some flaws along the way, and hopefully this will give you a better understanding of what my interests are. Okay, now let's start things off with Pokemon. Now, I know what you're thinking. This isn't anime! This is baby I'm reporting you! No, you're all wrong. This counts as an anime. It originated in Japan, and it was dubbed in English a year later. Even the official Pokemon Wiki says it's an anime. I don't care what excuse you have, this counts. Go ahead, write a hate comment. It's what you do in your day-to-day life anyway. My introduction to Pokemon was rocky during my childhood years. I was never interested in the games because I thought Mario was better, so I played more Sunshine and TTYD. However, one day my mom and I went to our local public library, and we just so happened to stumble upon a VHS tape of Pokemon. We rented it and went back home, and I watched the 3 episodes from that tape. The following episodes were as followed: The Tower of Terror, Haunter vs. Kadabra, and Primeape Goes Bananas, and I enjoyed it. For those of you who are dumb Dragon Ball Naruto One Piece degenerates, Pokemon is a show that focuses on Ash Ketchum and his electric mouse Pikachu, traveling across the land to be the very best like no one ever was. The original series had Misty and Brock following him wherever he goes, but in later seasons he would have May, Max, Dawn, Iris, Silence, Serena, Clement. Long story short, this series is tied to the original games. Ash would travel to a new region, build up his party by catching Pokemon, earn gym badges by beating the gym leaders, and make his way to the champion. I never played any of the games at the time, but I was still invested by Ash and his iconic adventures. I was a Cartoon Network kid at the time, so I was able to see a good chunk of episodes from the Diamond and Pearl series. Then in middle school, I had a friend who would show me episodes from the Black and White series on his school laptop. X and Y was when I finally got my hands on a Pokemon game. I enjoyed my journey through Kalos from beginning to end. I also got to see the X and Y series, and I'm like, hey, I remember these characters. I remember this city. I can't believe how close it follows the original games. Also, I just want to point out that Naruto was on the same channel as Diamond and Pearl, so when I started watching episodes from that anime, I turned off the TV and went back to playing Mario. Hey, shut up! Let me explain! Pokemon interests me more because of the way it was handled. I love the feuds from the characters, the scenes where they catch the Pokemon, even how they handled the attacks from the Pokemon, which were portrayed from the original games. Look at these incredible shots! It's like I'm watching a Pokemon movie! Oh right, it did have a movie. This scene puts me to tears. But to summarize, Pokemon is a faithful adaptation to the original games. The story may be similar in each season, but the characters, locations, Pokemon, and even the music are always new and interesting. As of now, it's currently the highest grossing media franchise of all time, and you can bet your bottom dollar that they will keep making games for generations to come. And with those said games will come more anime seasons, so it's safe to say that Pokemon won't be going away anytime soon. Also, as for the Sun and Moon series, it can burn in a fire. Whew. Well, that's one anime down. 3 more to go. Oh, but it's gonna take forever. I need something with speed to get this video done. If only there was an anime with the character that can run really fast. Sonic X. Yep, you heard me. Sonic had an anime. Now, Sonic was mostly a video game character, but he was no stranger to cartoons. He had a few shows in the 90s like Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, or Sonic Sat AM by fans, and Sonic Underground to name a few. This show was released in 2003, and at that same year, 4Kids Entertainment acquired the rights to localize the show. This was also aired when a new Sonic cast was hired. Jason Griffith, Amy Pallant, Dan Green, Lisa Ortiz, Mike Pollock, who's still voicing Eggman today. This cast went on to reprise their roles from Shadow the Hedgehog to Sonic and the Black Knight. How cool is that? A cast from an anime gets to be the cast for the games. I remembered owning a DVD cover that had the second half of Season 1, and it came with 2 discs. One disc had 6 episodes, and the other had 7. As of now, I don't have the DVD with me, so let's talk about the main plot. In an attempt to rescue Cream and Cheese, Sonic broke one of Eggman's machines powered by the 7 Chaos Emeralds. The machine creates a big warp ball, transporting Sonic and his friends to Station Square, where one by one they meet a kid named Chris, who is glad to accept them as friends. Once the gang is assembled, they realize that the 7 Chaos Emeralds were also transported to this world. And now it's up to Sonic and company to find all of the emeralds before Eggman does, so they can return to their home planet. Honestly, this is my favorite Sonic show of all time. Look, I love Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic Boom. I don't care if anyone thinks they are bad, but Sonic X is a very epic show. For a kids anime, there were some episodes that got me on the edge of my seat. There's one episode where Cream and Cheese got captured by the military, and Sonic breaks in to save her. Eventually, they got caught by the security cameras, and they start firing lasers at them, and this is where the tension starts to kick in. Sonic tells Cream to run while he destroys the rest of the cameras. Then there's a blast door closing, and it looks like she's not gonna make it until Sonic swoops her and runs right under the door. Then they're on the staircase and it starts to collapse, and Cream looks like she's gonna fall, like, oh my gosh, this is terrifying! Sonic, do something! Then there's this episode where Eggman tricks Knuckles into thinking Sonic is the bad guy. Where have I seen that? Meanwhile, Chris, Tails, and Amy go to Silver Valley to find another Chaos Emerald, but it turned out to be a trap made by Eggman. Now Eggman has 3 of Sonic's friends held captive, while Sonic and Knuckles duke it out. The fight goes on for a while until Sonic notices that his friends are in danger, and when he goes to save them, Knuckles realizes he's been tricked, and finishes Eggman with a punch. And if that's not enough, there are also episodes that retell the events from the adventure games. It even features characters from Adventure 1 and 2, like Chaos, Tikal, Shadow, Maria, and even Gerald Robotnik. If you're a Sonic fan or a fan of the adventure games, definitely check this out for yourself. It's funny, it's edgy, it's action-packed, but most importantly, it's just Sonic. And if you ask me, that's all that really matters. Whew! I'm halfway there. Only 2 more to review. Oh, all this reviewing is making me hungry. Oh, I forgot. I have a basket full of peaches. Hey, you know who else is pink, round, and loves to eat? Kirby right back at ya. Another anime that was released in Japan, and it was dubbed by For Kids. Noticing a pattern yet? Now, I know some of you are mad at this company because, oh, boo-hoo, 4Kids ruined my Yu-Gi-Oh! And One Piece. Oh, I don't care if it's mean! Besides, you people have been mean to me ever since I said I don't watch anime. You guys want me to make an anime video? Well, here you go! 4 animes that I like to watch, and not a single one of them have any of these weirdos. Be careful for what you wish for. Kirby, Kirby, Kirby. That's the name you should know, and he's the star of the show. This is an anime based off of the Kirby video game franchise. Take a circle, color it pink, turn it into a ball, give it a smile and some tiny limbs, and voila! You got yourself a pink puffy hero with an insatiable appetite that can suck up enemies and copy their powers. His goal is to protect Dreamland from the evil hands of King Dedede and a ton of other monsters. I remembered watching the first episode on YouTube back in middle school, and that same friend from before would start showing me more episodes during lunch break or after school while we wait for the buses. Ah, good times. Speaking of which, the first episode starts off with a bang when a giant octopus eats a herd of sheep and spits their skeletons at the shepherd. Turns out that this octopus was a monster ordered by an evil royal narcissist. No, not you. Yeah, you. I was talking about you. So the townspeople seek help from Kaboo, who tells them that a Star Warrior by the name of Kirby is coming to help them. Meanwhile, a Star Warrior named Kirby is asleep in his starship when his alarm goes off, and he crashes into Dreamland. He quickly befriends Tiff, Tuff, Fololo, and Falala, but Dedede takes a disliking to him, and he starts abusing him with everything he's got. Typical troll, am I right? He even started tampering with his starship and stole his warp star. But don't worry, he immediately lost it after being brainwashed and crashed into a pillar. This causes the octopus to grow and destroy the castle. As Kirby makes his way to the top, Tiff uses the warp star to restore Kirby's power, and he fights back. He becomes Fire Kirby, rides the warp star, and finishes the monster with one giant blast. After the day was saved, they fixed up his starship so he can leave, but this stupid narcissist blew it up. Joke's on him, though. The starship lands on his car, destroying it. Now Kirby has a somewhat permanent home in Dreamland and is here to stay to protect Cappy Town from Dedede and Nightmare Enterprises. Believe it or not, there's actually some lore in this show, and it's pretty dark like most of the Kirby games. This is Enemy. He's an evil demon whose goal is to rule the universe. Centuries ago, he made a company called Nightmare Enterprises, or NME for short. Wait a minute. NME, Enemy! Oh, I get it. God, that's clever. It was created to fund his operations and manufacture powerful monsters, which he would use to take over the galaxy and destroy tons of planets. However, those who loved and fought for freedom formed armies and were known as the Star Warriors. For thousands of years, they fought back, but eventually Enemy's monsters would outnumber them, and many of the Star Warriors perished. Only a few warriors survived the aftermath, including Meta Knight. King Dedede loves ordering monsters from them because he's jealous over Kirby when he crash landed, and, well, he's a narcissist. Because of this, Dreamland is the next target for Enemy. However, Kirby is a brand new Star Warrior. When his alarm went off, it detected a monster, but it woke him up too early. Right now, Kirby is just a baby. But during the course of the show, he learns to develop his powers and jumps into action whenever someone's in danger. I love this show. This is another well-made adaptation that mostly stays true to the original material. And by mostly, I mean, there's only one thing that they don't stay true to. It's that some of the Kirby enemies are suddenly good guys. Like, why are the Cappies townspeople? Why is Kaboo a god? Knuckle Joe was an enemy at one point, but befriends Kirby after he was misunderstood. But if I'm gonna be honest, this is an insultant to the fanbase, despite how weird it is. I'm totally okay with this decision. I do have a few complaints about this anime. Some of the episodes don't contribute anything to the plot and only exist for filler. Some filler episodes aren't worth watching at all, just because they reuse stock footage from previous episodes. Others, however, are entertaining despite being filler. Remember the episode where King Dedede made a deal with Nightmare Enterprises to make a cartoon? He eventually gathered everyone in Cappytown to work on it, but they couldn't finish it due to time constraints. This is way too funny than it needs to be. It's like the animators are taking a jab at themselves. Another complaint I have is some of the usage of 3D models. Now this show is in 2D with hand-drawn characters and painted backgrounds, but sometimes it has a tendency to use outdated CGI for Kirby, Dedede, and Escargoon. I don't think this is necessary, and it should have stayed in 2D. But to be fair, it doesn't look too bad. It's awkward to look at, but I'll take this over Donkey Kong Country. Told you my show would give him nightmares. Kirby Right Back At Ya is a great show. It has some fluff, but it doesn't ruin the experience. It's a shame that we'll never get something like this ever again, but I'm glad it happened anyway. This anime is just like Kirby himself. Cute, fun, adventurous, and maximum pink. By the way, I want to point out that Mike Pollock voices the mayor of Cappytown. I have an idea.
I was just about to consume this delicious banana. You might be a better cartoonist than a chef.
Okay, I calmed down.
Oh, thank goodness you're okay. I was so worried about you.
We may never speak of that again. Anyways, are we done yet?
Nope. You still got one more anime to review.
Oh, right. Let's see.
What?
It's...
What is it, Matt? Tell me.
Animal Crossing.
This is my favorite anime of all time. Hold it! Let me explain why this is my favorite before you get triggered. Some of you might know this, but for those of you who don't, I got into Animal Crossing from a tragedy. I have an incurable condition called ulcerated colitis, which is basically an ulcer inside the colon. After I got back from the ER, I downloaded New Horizons on my Switch, played it during lockdown, and sank countless hours into it for 2 months straight. I love Animal Crossing. I like watching videos about it. The track in Mario Kart 8 became my favorite course in the game. I even own a few plushies of the characters, as well as the amiibo. So one day I was scrolling down on my YouTube homepage when suddenly a recommended video caught my attention. The first half of an official Animal Crossing movie. Now, this movie was only released in Japan, and Nintendo has no plans releasing it in other countries, but thankfully, some fans were able to redub it into English. But before all of that, I never knew or heard about this movie. So when I saw this in my recommendations, my love for this franchise took control of me, and I clicked on it. Also, before we begin, I want to point out a few things. The first part of the movie got removed on YouTube, so I had to search through other sources just to find the full movie. Second, I will be covering the entire movie, not just the first half, so be aware that there will be spoilers. And third, I'm only covering the English fan dub of the movie for, well, obvious reasons. I don't understand Japanese. Okay, now let's talk about my favorite anime, Animal Crossing the movie. The plot revolves around a girl named Ai, who moves into Animal Village, a little town inhabited by, well, animals. This is where we're introduced to familiar faces like Pelly, Mayor Tortimer, and Tom Nook, who, by the way, is an asshole in this movie. All I wanted was the key to her new home, and you're forcing her to work? Child labor is illegal, you know. At least I think it is. Then again, this is the same Tanuki that puts you in debt whenever you move into a new town. While she's delivering packages around Animal Village, she starts to meet more of the animals in town. A cat named Rosie, a beautiful fox named Whitney, an alligator named Alfonso, and bizarrely, another human named You. Wait a minute. I and you? Oh, I get it. As in, I live in this village. And so do you. Oh my god, I love clever writing. But out of all of the villagers, Margie is the one that stands out to her. And before she knew it, the two of them became close friends. She talks about wanting to use her talents and compares them to cherry pies. If you don't use it, it'll collect dust and be forgotten. One of Margie's biggest cherry pies is fashion designing. She likes to draw sketches of clothes on her notepad and hopes to get them approved so that she can become a fashion designer. Now, this is where the movie moves at a slow pace, but to summarize, Ai starts to get used to her new life, and several events happen while she stays. She accidentally ruins Apollo's flowers and apologizes to him, but was never forgiven. She goes to a museum and notices a missing fossil in the exhibit. She and her friends explore a cave that just so happens to contain the missing fossil from the museum, which, oh my god, that sounds like a great idea for a mainline entry. Why didn't they add this feature in New Horizons? Oh well, maybe next game. We also get a scene where she walks around the beach at night and finds a note in a bottle telling her to plant a few pine trees during the snow festival, which is odd to say the least, but I'll go with it. There have been messages in bottles in the games anyway, so after all of the events, KK Slider visits the village and Margie requests him to play KK Bosa, which, by the way, whoever did the voice of him did such a great job. KK Slider is my favorite Animal Crossing character. He's chill, laid back, and warms your heart with a song. Here, his voice is calm and soothing, which checks every box in his character. He starts playing his song and everyone enjoys it. Wow, this movie was great so far, and that was only the first half. I'm sure the second half will get better from here.
Margie's farewell party! Why didn't you come?
Did Margie go somewhere?
In order to follow her dreams and become a designer, Margie moved away.
Huh?
Oh. So yeah, turns out Margie left the village after the concert. But by the time I heard about this, it was too late. She left without a word and never got to say goodbye. Sad about her departure, Ai heads to the roost and gets some coffee. KK Bosa begins to play in the background, which makes her think about Margie, and she begins to cry. Okay, I'd be lying if I said I didn't tear up at that part. Whitney cheers her up by telling her to believe in herself, and she gets back up to move on. Later that night, she gets a letter from Margie, who apologized for leaving so quickly. She wanted to follow her dreams and encouraged her to do the same as well. How sweet of her. Now we get to the climax of this movie. This is gonna get rocky, however, so please bear with me. So there's a snow festival going on, and new pine trees have been growing in the village. These are the same pine trees that I planted as told by the message in the bottle. She begins to wonder if those trees will actually cause something to happen, and sure enough, a UFO crashes into the village. This is Gulliver, and according to the movie, he's a space alien. He asks the villagers to find 5 of his ship parts so he can return to his home planet. Okay, first of all, you are not a space alien. Look, that's an alien, and so is this one, and this one. I get that you were in a UFO in City Folk and Wild World, but you are a seagull in a spacesuit. You are an astronaut, not an alien. Second, I get that this movie was released after the success of Wild World, and this is a reference to the game, but this scene feels forced. It's like the movie forgot about its plot and just quickly came up with one in the last 10 minutes. Whatever, he needs 5 parts to repair his ship, I get it. So the villagers split up. I, Rosie, you, and Alfonso returned to the fossil cave and tried to move a rock out of the way. And guess who came back for a visit? Margie. They enter the cave and find the part on top of the missing fossil. You climbs up the fossil to retrieve it, but as soon as he gets it, he falls off. Thankfully, he's saved by Alfonso, while I catches the ship part. They return to the crash site, but Champ has the exact same part. Turns out that one of them was a separate alien, which seemed to be the cause of the crash landing. I is then warped into a giant beam where the alien thanks her with some pretty outdated CGI. The rest of the UFO thanks her by putting her face in the sky, which for some reason made her win the Snow Festival contest? Okay, that's strange, but whatever. So Gulliver repairs his ship, Apollo revealed that he was never mad at I, Tortimer won the election, and the movie ends with the beautiful shot of Animal Village. The pine trees that I planted formed into a star. Okay, this may be my favorite anime, but I didn't say it was perfect. For one, the pacing is too slow. It takes forever to get from one point to another. Most of the scenes I didn't mention in this movie serve no purpose. They just exist to be filler because nothing happens in this movie. The first half of the movie handled the pacing better, but that's because it introduced us to the characters. Speaking of characters, I, Margie, and maybe Rosie were the only characters that contributed to the plot. The rest are just there to exist. Not even you and Alfonso contribute, and they were the ones that discovered the fossil cave. Well, at least we didn't get to see more of Tom Nook. And the climax, while it was a good reference to Wild World, felt like the higher-ups told the writers to half-ass it. Why is this ending poorly rushed? Lastly, the CGI alien looks outdated and primitive, especially when it forms Ai's face. Ugh. But, like I said in the Kirby anime, it doesn't look too bad. At least it's better to look at than Donkey Kong. But you know what? Despite all of my complaints, I still love this movie. The plot may be mediocre, not enough characters get more screen time, and the ending comes out of nowhere, but it does one thing that a good adaptation does. Stay true to the original material, so I'll give them a pass for at least trying. I also like this movie because, well, I'm biased. Yeah, I admit it, but I don't care. I love anything that's Animal Crossing related. Even Amiibo Festival. I don't care what you say, I love this game. Everything about the series makes me happy. Except you. You look like a Karen. And if this comment doesn't prove that Marshall fans are Karens, then I don't know what does.
I'm triggered!
So for that reason, I'm calling this my favorite anime of all time. I recommend this movie to anyone who's an Animal Crossing fan. It'll take some time to find the English fan dubs on Google, but you'll find them if you dig deep enough. Animal Crossing truly is my spirit animal. There are, of course, other video game animes out there, but this video is way too long than it needs to be. I gotta wrap this up. I made my message very clear. But in case you guys still didn't get the picture, I don't like anime. I have no interest in watching it, and I want to stay as far away from it. After witnessing its terrible names, ugly character designs, nonsensical plots, toxic fan bases, and their fetish for hentai, I refuse to give it a chance. I know I reviewed 4 animes in this video, but these were based off of franchises that I love. I was giving you an idea of what my interests are and what I like to enjoy.
I'm not into anime. Sure, I watched the Pokemon anime, Sonic X, and Kirby Right Back at You. But seriously, there are people who take anime way too seriously. Just like how I take VeggieTales way too seriously.
There's nothing wrong with liking anime, however. If you like it, that's great. I'm not gonna judge you. But give me any show from Cartoon Network like Foster's, Billy and Mandy, or Total Drama, and I will watch it. Give me shows from Nickelodeon like SpongeBob, Jimmy Neutron, or The Fairly OddParents, and I'll appreciate it. Heck, if you give me any Disney cartoons like Phineas and Ferb, original or reboot DuckTales, or even some older shows like Darkwing Duck, Rescue Rangers, or Tailspin, I will eat that up. But give me anything anime related. No dice, no chance, no thank you. I'm out. That was all the time that I got for this video. Thank you guys so much.
Wait! You can't end a video like that! Your points are irrelevant! You're just saying that you like cartoons because you're a man-child with nostalgia blind in your eyes! You only reviewed animes that were based off of something that already existed because you're a hypocrite! You keep thinking that ignoring us will finally get us to stop, but in reality, we'll always come back to bite you in the butt!
He's right. There is absolutely no reason for a man in his 20s to be enjoying something that I liked as a kid. I could talk about how much I love Mario games or Disney shows, or pretty much anything that I mentioned, but at the end of the day, cartoons are for babies. No matter how much I love Nintendo games, or how much I love kids' cartoons, I'm just an idiot trying to use nostalgia as justification. So you know what, anime fans? You win. I give up. I'm tired of this fight, and you've all outnumbered me. It's time for me to change. I'm gonna give up everything I know and love, drop out of college because having a life is for boomers, stop making videos for my channel, waste all of my savings on a Crunchyroll subscription, live under my parents' roof, and dedicate my entire life watching nothing but non-stop episodes of anime. Niax. That's my comment section who said that. Good night, everybody! Hello, everyone! Matt the Cat here, and thank you so much for watching my final rant video. Yes, this is my last one. I'm not sure if I'll bring these back, but in the meantime, I'll work on other videos talking about games, shows, movies, maybe theme park attractions. Just don't expect any of them to be anime related. And if you're one of those people who like to spam hate comments, don't ever tell me to watch anime ever again! That was all the time that I got for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe for more videos like this one, and I'll see you in the next video. Meow meow!